All righty, Steve, you're on. Go ahead.
Max Humphrey, this is Steve Jewin from MMA Mania. How are you doing today?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Not too bad.
I'm doing good.
That's good to hear.
Right on. Had 5 miles at 5 a.m. this morning, and then just got back at the house about an hour ago from sparring. So I'm tired. I'm gonna shower, eat, and I'm gonna be a couch potato for the rest of the day.
Well, it sounds like you deserve it then. You've already put in your full day's work of training for this fight. It's a big fight, too, with Dillon Danis, but I know you've got the hype train started already because I saw you were wearing a shirt that said "Silence is golden."
I mean, I'm not a big talker, man. Like, I'm probably not ever gonna be. It's just not my thing. My manager bitches at me a lot for that, but I don't know, he loves me still anyway, I hope. I don't know, the whole idea of like trying to please a crowd so that people like me just sounds fucking terrible. To be honest. Like, I don't know, I just don't care. I don't care. You either do or you don't, and if you don't, then all right, whatever. Like, it's cool too. Not everybody's got good taste, whatever.
Well, what's funny about that, Dillon Danis, is talking all this shit, trying to stir things up because people want him to be rude and disrespectful. It's a very weird opposite where it's like you say you don't want to be liked, but people will like you just for not saying anything, and then people will like him for saying a lot of things.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's really just kind of what do you prefer, you know? So I've read stories about the guy or whatever, and like it's kind of like what you said. People either love him or hate him. I could care less one way or the other. It doesn't matter. But that's never going to be my style. So I'm not going to ever try and pretend to be something I'm not. I'm just not about the fake. Like, I'm a pretty real dude, actually. So I keep it real as much as possible all the time. Like, I'm too chill for a reason. Like, it is what it is.
Well, it's a good way to be in this sport because sometimes you need that to be able to survive in a world where everybody's judging you online and at fight press conferences and interviews. I mean, I'm sure you've already heard people saying the things like, "Oh, this is just the guy they brought in to lose to Dillon."
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm not stupid. I mean, I don't hold any, I mean, it's just because I'm the no-name guy, like, go ahead and sleep on me. That's what you do. Like, make it easy for me, I guess. I don't care. Like, it matters one way or not the other.
Here's a thought. Why don't we tell people why they shouldn't sleep on you? Besides the fact that you've got a 3-2 pro record, what should people know about Max Humphrey that they don't know?
I'm at Jackson's, training at one of the greatest gyms in the world. I got some of the best coaches and the best teammates in the world on my side helping me prepare for this. So to me, I've never had help like this before. Like, I mean, I had a coach and I had somebody that, you know, I had a legit, you know, that knew what they were doing. But when you're one guy that's got 60 students, how much time can you put in an individual, you know? So a lot of what I've had to do to get myself just to this point is on my own. All right. And then I get to Jackson's and it takes a while. I mean, you gotta show them your dedication. You gotta earn it. Like, you can't just be the guy that shows up and goes to one practice and then expect all the help to come out of the woodwork. But after you put the grind in and you start showing your dedication and that you're there on time and doing the shit you're supposed to do, well, people notice that. The people in the gym that work hard, they notice that. And then they want to help you. Well, now I've got the best in the world helping me. And it feels very difficult to fail right now.
So basically, you might have come in as one guy who just had 60 students and you were one of 60, but now you've got a whole team where they're focusing on you at Jackson Wink and they're making you ready for Dillon Danis. They're giving you that attention to make you the best possible version of yourself.
Yeah, never had a nutritionist before. I've never had a specific strength and conditioning coach before. I mean, I've always done, I joined the infantry at 17. So like, I mean, I'm used to, hard work and grinding, but like sometimes when you roll over and look at that clock and it says 5:30, especially if you got something nice in bed with you, like you don't want to get the fuck up. Like it's hard to move sometimes. It's like shit. But then you've got these people that are like, hey, I'm showing up. You better show the hell up too. And like, you can't let them down. You can't do that to those people. Like, if it's just yourself, you can quit on yourself. But when you've got guys that are dedicated and they're showing up, like you can't do that. Like I can't anyway. Like when somebody puts that time and that effort into me, like I have to return that. So, I'm not just waking up and running just for me. Now there's 10 other guys that are relying on me to be there. Okay. Now you know what I mean? Like now it's a have to. Now it's a get the fuck up and do what you're supposed to do. Quit being a pussy. Like, so it's a mentality like that you have to have. And as far as I'm concerned, you have to have it. And, there's so many guys that are willing to help you here. Just because they love doing what they're doing. And that's the biggest thing is at Jackson's, like, everybody's here with the same mindset. Everybody's here to train. Everybody's here to be better. Everybody wants to train all the time. Like, one of my biggest problems when I got here was overtraining. Like, oh, I'm running myself into the ground. I've got zero recovery. Now I'm getting hurt. Okay, so I had to figure this. Like, it takes a minute. Like, there's a science to this shit. Learning the pro side and dealing with promotions and managers and all that stuff's new for me. So I'm having to learn. Like, it took a year at Jackson's to finally figure out how all this stuff works. But now that I have, it's like the heaven's gates has kind of opened up. And it's like, okay, we're doing this now. Like, bring it all, everything you got. I don't care. I got mine.
Well, that's exactly where I was going with this, because I was thinking about how much pressure there is to be making your Bellator debut and fighting on the main card and fighting somebody with a name like Dillon Danis. But it seems to me like you're at this point in your life right now where it's like, that's not pressure. Having to let these people down, that was pressure. It seems to me like you're already ready for the fight. Like, there's no pressure now.
No. All the pressure's on him. Like, I have got nothing. I'm too chill. Like, I am max too chill Humphrey. Like, to me, this is just one more fight. I've made that walk 25 times, and I'm going to keep making that walk. All right. It doesn't matter what the name on the poster says. It doesn't matter what venue it's at. I mean, am I honored that I get to fight at Madison Square Garden? Fuck yeah. I mean, just to step in there with the greats that have been in there before, like, that's a special thing for us, for the guys that do this. But that's more of a personal thing. That's not for anybody else, as far as I'm concerned. That's not anything anybody else can see either. So that's just for me. And the fact that there's there's going to be some more eyeballs on it. Like, I don't care. Like, I love the fans. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But when those doors shut, like, they all disappear. And I'm there for a reason. And that reason's standing in front of me. And that's that. Like, that's just all there is to it, really.
Well, now with that excellent team you've got at Jackson Wink getting you ready for this fight, how much of that time in camp have you spent on jiu-jitsu defense and ground position to avoid, because obviously with Dillon Danis, it's kind of, you can know what he's going to go for right away. He's going to try to get you to the ground and go for a sub.
Sure. I mean, and he has to. That's the only way he can fight, really. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, this is a weird fight. Like, this is not normal. To have somebody that willingly wants to just drop and fall to their back and go straight to their butt, like, that's just weird. All right? I grew up fighting in the fucking streets, man. Like, when you don't do that. All right, there's just things that can happen. You're gonna get the boots put to you. All right, Now, obviously, that's different being in a cage, and there's other things that can happen, but he's got one avenue to win. I don't know. It'll be an interesting fight, but I would rather just stand up and bang it out, to be honest. That's probably not advisable for him, but
No.
I don't know. You could ask him.
It could. I mean, lightning could strike him too, but like you said, more likely he's probably going to fall to his butt and hope that you jump on top of him. But do you think then that if he loses this fight, he gets exposed?
Well, I think he's already exposed. I think everybody already knows. Like, they keep asking me this like it's some big secret. The guy has one fight. All right? I don't count my jiu-jitsu tournaments. I don't count my wrestling matches. I don't count my judo matches. I don't count the shit that I did in the Army. You know, like, none of that matters. Like, but I got 25 fights, like actual fights, like in a cage with a ref and another opponent, you know, that also was training to do MMA. So, it just, and you know what's even funnier? Like, when I do win, like, okay, I beat a 1-0 guy. How many cool points do you think I'm going to get from that? from the legit guys back at the gym. All right, I didn't beat Machida or Chael Sonnen or Fedor. Like, I beat a 1-0 guy, regardless of how big his fucking name is or how many people know who he is. That's still all he is a name. Yeah, 1-0. That's it. Like, that should be his name. 1-0.
Well, there's one good thing about it, though. Even though he's only a 1-0 fighter, because it's on a main card and because it's on MSG, that's still going to be a little bit of an asterisk in the win column. Like, you beat a guy on a huge card, and they're going to have you back for another huge card.
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, like, that brings the eyes and the interest, like Madison Square Garden and, you know, Dillon Danis and the Black Belt King, whatever the hell. Like, okay, I mean, I'm not going to fall into it, you know, like, it's just, I don't like the flashy cameras and all that nonsense. Like, I'm here to fight you, bro, and I'm not here to jiu-jitsu you. I'm not here to wrestle you or grapple you. I'm going to fight you, and I really hope he comes to fight.
Well,
that's what I want.
That's what we all want.
That would make me super happy.
That's exactly what we want. That's going to be the most fun to watch, is if Dillon Danis shows up to actually fight and you and him have a great battle. But let me just put a summary on it this way and say the 3-2 record really doesn't describe you at all, because as you said, you have 25 fights, whether they're on the Sherdog record or not. So I think I'll let you speak on that and say, hey, you know, don't judge the book by the cover, because the cover isn't even right.
Man, I've looked up on those things before, and I looked up my amateur record one time to see where I was ranked in the Midwest, and like 5 of my fights weren't even on the damn thing. You know, like, they had me as an upside down record, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That just probably helps me out, I guess, when somebody looks me up. Like, whatever. I mean, half the shit they get wrong anyway. But yeah, like, I fought 9 times my first year of competition. 9 fights in 1 year. Like, I needed an outlet. I tried to go back to college. That wasn't working. So I walked into an MMA gym and started competing, and I've been doing that ever since, and that's led me all the way here.
Indeed, it has.
And I didn't do that by, you know, trying to get interviews with people or sucking up to Holly Holmes and John Jones trying to get pictures on my Instagram or, you know, doing other shit like, hey, Diego, will you, you know, like, no, that's not me. Hang on a second.
Sure.
All right, just give me a minute, bro. Sorry, that's my roommate.
It's all good.
Like, I got here from hard work and grinding it out. Right? Like, I've gave up a lot of shit. Like, they asked me last interview, like, what do you do when you're not training or you're not at work? I used to be a pretty avid hunter, fisher, outdoorsman, and in the last 3 years, I've gone bow hunting twice or something. You know, like 3 years, 4 times total. Like I'm always training or in a fight camp during deer season or whatever, like, so, everything else has kind of been put on the back burner. Like, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I do all the time now.
Well, then.
So it's just kind of taken over. And it's even gotten worse now that I'm here at Jackson's. I live 3.5 miles from the gym. I'm like a little 12-minute drive tops, and I go there every single day. That's what I do. And so, all right, we're just going to keep doing this because I like it. So,
yep. Well, hard work does pay off in the end, so all that time you've been putting in at Jackson Wink and all the time you put in leading up till now is about to pay big dividends at Madison Square Garden on June 14th. And I know you don't like the social media thing too much because you're too chill for that, but at the same time, if you do have any social media links or sponsors that you want to mention, Max, I want to give you that time.
Yeah. I mean, I have an Instagram. Like, anybody's welcome to go check it out or whatever. All my 30 pictures I've got on there, and half of them are, shit that we get from the gym that the gym asks us to post because they give it to us for free. Yeah, my nutrition like, hey, I'll give you this, but you got to post it on Instagram. I got you. So there's just like a random Farlene's, chocolate vegetable shake or whatever it is. Or the newest fish oil that came out or whatever.
Omega-3s. It's got omega-3s. Yeah.
Hell yeah. But a big shout out to the Kind Pen. They've really helped me out sponsor wise in this camp. And a huge shout out to the Triskelion group here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And then M&M Body and Paint. They helped us out with some flights that were desperately needed, and they came in as a last minute pinch. So big thank you to those guys.
All right, Max, I appreciate the time today, and it's been a very entertaining interview, so I know it's going to be a very entertaining fight with Dillon Danis as well. Take care and have a great one on June 14th.
All right, my man. Thank you very much. You have a good day.
You too. Thank you. And thank you, Dan, as well.